What is up, really lamos? Today we are doing a request video. Shout out to my buddy for that. We are going to talk about the really lame origins of Humpty Dumpty. Yeah, I don't know where we got that pull from, but I definitely appreciate ideas being thrown out. And I think that a lot of people get distracted on the Humpty Dumpty wasn't an egg kind of thing. So today what we're going to do is we're going to explore some of the history, some of the origin theories, because it has been lost to history. We don't actually know what the deal is. So while I carve this pumpkin here, let's dig in to some of the theories and some of the lore of Humpty Dumpty. So let's start with, could Humpty Dumpty have been an egg? We know that the first time the Humpty Dumpty was depicted as an egg is from Lewis Carroll, and I don't remember the exact year, but it seemed like it was sometime in the 1800s. Could have been 1700s. But that's an illustration is the first time that we see Humpty Dumpty appear as an egg. And let me back up, I guess, a little bit. If you're not familiar with the rhyme already, it goes something like, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together again. Critical analysis time. Whoever said let the horses try, that's the people who blew it. I think no matter what Humpty Dumpty was or is, he had a fighting chance, or she, or they, or it had a fighting chance. They didn't let the horses try. That was mistake number one, people. So there you go. If you ever need some assembly work, maybe horses aren't the right answer, especially not when you have the men at your disposal. So let's start there. All right, all joking aside, Humpty Dumpty may have been an egg if one theory is true. The first theory of many that I ran across is that Humpty Dumpty was originally a riddle. Now, it would have been a crappy riddle, I think. That don't sound like a fun riddle. It's not one that everyone's sitting around thinking about. And how the answer egg lands on that, I'm not telling you for sure. So my knee-jerk reaction is to go ahead and reject the notion of a riddle. I don't like that theory. I'm going to go ahead and put a big fat X on it. And I want to say next case. So then I think everyone's mind jumps to, oh, well, that means Humpty Dumpty wasn't human. And to those people's credits, they do have nicknames for people who are short and fat, like Humpty Dumpty. That is one of the things that people would, call someone who's maybe a little bit heavier. So, could Humpty Dumpty have been a human? I, personally, do not think so. But is it possible? That is on the theory list. Again, not my strongest theory, not the one I'm willing to subscribe to. If I can get the top off of this thing, look at that. I've got a bag so I don't litter. I've also got the bag weighted down, but it is blowing away. Now for the fun stuff. I've never carved a white pumpkin before. Look at that. They say that's edible. I might have to explore that later. I don't know. Let's de-gut this real fast. Hopefully it won't take too much longer. I've done blew through most of the content of this video. But from what I can tell, the original Humpty Dumpty goes back to the English Civil War. Alright? And we see traces of that in the line. If you think about the line, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together again. then it kind of checks out that it would be, you know, a wartime thing. When do you have the men and the horses predominantly working together? Yeah, the cavalry. During, you know, especially that time period of how warfare was taking place. This did have a lot of stuff inside of it. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna go ahead and start carving it so I can, you know, have the reveal of what we're doing here. I don't think it's going to turn out well. I'm usually a pretty decent pumpkin carver, but I don't know about it today. We'll see. So yeah, when you're thinking about Humpty Dumpty and what he could be, we have to consider the time period. We have to consider super special freaking awesome. I have to consider, you know, not just the time period, but the social setting, what type of object, because I don't think that Humpty Dumpty was a person or anything that was alive. And I guess an egg wasn't alive because it's a byproduct of life, whatever. But I don't even think it was that. I personally believe that Humpty Dumpty was a cannon, like one of these, you know, old-timey military cannon, probably set up like on a brick wall. It fired, right? The recoil knocked the cannon off of the wall, and all of the king's horses and all of the king's men failed to put the cannon back together again. That is what I think Humpty Dumpty was. It's lost to history. No one actually knows the whole truth or the real truth behind it. But it is fun food for thought. Everyone knows the little children's rhyme, so I think it's kind of cool to be able to cover that. And again, shout out to the subscribers for, you know, messaging me and saying this is the type of content I want. I definitely appreciate that. Anytime in the future you guys can think of something you specifically want to see, feel free to let me know. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment on what you think. If you think my theory is good, if you have another idea, if you might know what Humpty Dumpty is, if you have another theory. I just personally like the cannon theory myself. It's a ghosty. Say hi, ghost. Alright, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The really lame truth of Humpty Dumpty.